Kumasi, hosted by Ace Consult. We do a lot of programming. We've done a lot of entrepreneurship programs, a lot of IT programs, different programs to help people appreciate the US. We also have a big space with a library that welcomes everybody to come in to feel comfortable, use our resources to do research, use our resources to learn as much as they can on their own or participate in our programs. My name is Marilyn Novusu. I'm the Executive Director for American Corner Kumasi. I have Lauren here, who's also the American Corner Coordinator. I have Kofi here, who is our events officer, who helps us with programming. And then we have a very special guest with us, who I'll take my time to talk about later. But this afternoon session, afternoon from Ghana, morning from the US, because she is in the US. So this afternoon session is a very special topic. And the topic says exploring the importance of American festive celebrations. Exploring the importance of American festive celebrations. We want to spend some time appreciating the different celebrations in the US. And we have a very special person with us to do that for us. She's the person of Miss Abnasa Ankra. I'll let her introduce herself and then she'll take us right through the program. But as she talks or as she presents, kindly take notes. If you have any questions, you can ask the questions by either writing here on Facebook or on YouTube, because we are live on Facebook, live on YouTube. You can ask all your questions, or those who joined us by Zoom, you can put the questions here in the chat. So I want to hand over to Mami, aka Abna, to take us through this session. Thank you so much, Mami, for making the time to join us.
Thank you very much, Marilyn. I'd like to start by saying a big thank you to the American Embassy, American Corner, ACE Consult for this opportunity. Marilyn calls me mommy because everybody knows me as Mamisa, but I officially go by Abnasa Ankra. I am a Ghanaian American. I was born here in the United States in California, and my family moved back to Ghana, and I grew up there and then came back to college here. So I've been here. I've been back in the US for almost 30 years now. So I've spent more than half of my life here in the United States. But my cultural heritage is from Ghana, and I also identify as American. Um, I am married with three children. I live in Virginia, in Stafford, and which is about 40 miles south of the capital of the United States, Washington, D.C. And I actually work in D.C. I study here in the United States for my university education. For my undergrad, I went to the George Washington University, where I got my bachelor's in international affairs. And then for my master's, I went to American University, and I got my master's in communications and public affairs. And I've worked in Washington, D.C. since then. I currently work in a law firm in DC where I head a department of 40 people. So I have a very busy work life. From Monday through Friday, I stay very, very busy. But to create balance in my life, I'm very intentional about having a vibrant social life. And that is why I'm excited about today's topic, because having a vibrant social life means I fully participate in all US holidays, fully participate in all the festivities, the dressing up, the decorating, the cooking, everything. So this is the topic that I'm excited about, that I really love. And so I'm going to just dive into it. I'll start by sharing my screen. So give me 1 second while I do that. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
You can. Okay, good. Okay, so as Marilyn said, today's topic is exploring the importance of American festive celebrations. And I'll start by saying festive celebrations in the United States reflects cultural heritage, diversity, and shared values. And these are often celebrated with family gatherings and specific cultural traditions. And I'm going to talk briefly about the official public holidays in the United States for the benefits of those who don't know, but I'm not going to dwell on all of them. I will just highlight the ones that are most festive. And I like to make the joke, if you were at Animal Farm when you were in high school, I'm sure you remember the expression, all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. So all the US holidays are important, but some are more festive than others. So we're gonna focus on the festive ones today. But as you can see, there are 11 public holidays in the United States. New Year's Eve is self-explanatory. It marks the beginning of the year. There are a lot of festive activities that go with that. And then in January, we have Martin Luther King Day, which a lot of people refer to as MLK Day. And it's typically the third Monday in January, and it honors the civil rights leader, Martin Luther King, and all that he fought for, and it encourages people to participate in acts of kindness and community service, and fight for equality and justice. And then there's Washington's birthday in February, which is also the third Monday in February, and it's a holiday that honors all U.S. presidents, particularly George Washington, who's the first president of the United States, and Abraham Lincoln. Both of their birthdays fall in February. So February, the third Monday in February is typically President's Day here. The holiday is officially called Washington's birthday, but most Americans know it as President's Day. And then we have Memorial Day. And you notice that I skipped Easter because Easter is celebrated here in the United States, but is not an official holiday. It's not a federal holiday. It's not a public holiday. Everything is open. The government is open. Some schools will close, but it's celebrated, but it's not an official holiday. And then we have Memorial Day, which is the last Monday of May. And Memorial Day honors all of the men and women in the US military that died in the line of service. And so we celebrate them that day. A lot of people will go to the cemetery, lay flags on their graves, and the social aspect of it. People will have barbecues and stuff like that on celebrating that day. Then the next holiday we have is Juneteenth, and this is a fairly new official holiday. It's been celebrated in the African American community for years, but President Biden made it an official holiday about 5 years ago. And so Juneteenth um, is also known as Freedom Day, and it commemorates June 19th, 1865, when the Union soldiers in Galveston, Texas, announced or informed the last enslaved Americans that they were free. And this is, 2 years following the Emancipation Proclamation. So Juneteenth celebrates freedom in African American history and all that goes with that. And the next holiday is self-explanatory. I'll dwell on this one in today's presentation, so I won't dwell on it here right now, but it's Independence Day, which is popularly known as July 4th. And then the next holiday is Labor Day, which falls on the first Monday in September. And it honors the social and economic achievements of the American worker. And unofficially, it kind of marks the end of summer here in the United States. So there's also a lot of barbecues and gatherings of friends and family. And then the next holiday is Columbus Day. Um, More recently, is referred to as the Indigenous Peoples Day. Columbus Day because it was named after Christopher Columbus, and it was marking when he first discovered America. But over the recent years, the focus has been more on the indigenous people of America, which are the Native Americans. And so this day also celebrates Native American history and culture and all of that. And then the next federal holiday is Veterans Day, and this one honors um, the veterans of the U.S. military. So this one is different from Memorial Day is those who passed away in the line of fire, and then Veterans Day is the military personnel that are veterans. And so that also is um, on November 11th, every November 11th. And this started from 1919 to commemorate the end of the World War One on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. That's why Veterans Day is on November 11th. And then we have Thanksgiving, which I will also dive into soon, and then Christmas. So these are the official federal holidays in the United States. So we celebrate these holidays, but there are also some unofficial holidays in the United States that we celebrate. A lot of them are celebrated worldwide as well, like Valentine's Day, Easter, Halloween, and various other holidays. And from all of the official and unofficial holidays, as I said, there are some are more festive than others. And so today we're going to focus on the most festive U.S. holidays, and they're widely believed to be Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, and Independence Day. So let's get into Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is the most celebrated holiday in America because it resonates with everyone. It doesn't matter your religion, your cultural heritage, your background. Americans, I would say 98%, actually, research shows that 98% of Americans celebrate Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving typically falls on the fourth Thursday of November. And it's a time where families gather for feasts and express gratitude. And as you can see here, there's a big turkey sitting on the table. And let me tell you, when I say that I fully participate in the holidays and the festivities, my pictures today will tell you why. So every picture that I'm using in this slide is my own personal photo that I took. And this particular picture is my turkey that I made last Thanksgiving with fall decorations and stuff around it. Now, some of you may be looking at this turkey and be saying, "Did she burn that turkey?" No, I did not. It's the color of my spice that's making it look that dark. But anyway, so let's get into the history of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving commemorates the harvest feast shared by the Plymouth colonists, who are also known as the Pilgrims, and these are the separatists from England that came to America in 1620, and they settled in the area of Massachusetts. And in that area were the indigenous people called the Wampanoag people. And when they settled, the Wampanoag people and the Pilgrims formed an alliance where the Wampanoag people helped the Pilgrims settle. They taught them how to farm and grow crops so that they could survive, because initially a lot of them died from disease and illnesses. But the Wampanoag people helped them settle by teaching them how to farm, and then they believe that the separatists will also help them fight other tribes and stuff in the area. And so they formed an alliance, and in the fall of 1621 they had the first harvest celebration, and that harvest celebration was called the first Thanksgiving. So from then on, that tradition has continued over the centuries till today, where in November, Americans gather together with their families. And as you saw in the previous picture, like the main staple of the Thanksgiving meal is their turkey, and then some traditional meals that are enjoyed during Thanksgiving are pumpkin pie and cranberry sauce and mashed potatoes and green beans. So it's a huge feast, and all Americans, majority of Americans, celebrate this holiday with their feasts, these traditional meals. But America is a nation of immigrants. There are folks from all places in the world, and people have integrated their local meals into their American meals for their Thanksgiving dinners. So, with me having the Ghanaian heritage, you would typically see Ghana jollof at my Thanksgiving meal, in addition to the traditional American meals. So this particular holiday is widely celebrated, and it's a very busy time in America. There are a lot of people that travel across states, some from outside the United States, to come join their families to have this Thanksgiving meal. It's typically around late lunch, early dinner time, where most people will have this dinner, and it's a time for heavy travel. The airlines are busy, the hotels are busy, and families get together to celebrate. Some traditions that are also celebrated during this time is, typically parades across the U.S., and the most popular one is the Macy's Day Parade. So it's a tradition to kind of watch the Macy's Day Parade in the morning while the meal is being cooked by your mother and your siblings or whoever is cooking the Thanksgiving meal, and then the family sits together. The family has the Thanksgiving meal, and each one expresses gratitude and says what they're thankful for. And it's a time also where we celebrate like the blessings of the harvest in the United States. Also, another tradition that happens during Thanksgiving is American football. Now, for those of you who don't know about American football, it's not the traditional soccer that you're used to where the ball is kicked by the foot. American football is primarily played with the hand, even though they kick the ball in the game. So that's also a big tradition that happens during Thanksgiving. So another tradition that surrounds Thanksgiving. Well, I just, so anyway, this particular meal here is my Thanksgiving table from the last Thanksgiving celebration with my family. As I said, I get involved 100%. And this is our dessert table. As you can see, we have the pumpkin pie there, which is a staple American dessert for Thanksgiving. Okay, so another tradition surrounding Thanksgiving is what we call Black Friday and more recently Cyber Monday. And Black Friday is the Friday after Thanksgiving. It's not an official holiday, but a lot of businesses close, the schools are closed. Um, and my office, for example, we exchanged Veterans Day for the day after Thanksgiving. So we go to work on Veterans Day so that we can have this Friday off. And a lot of folks have made this, over the years, the biggest shopping day in America. So the retailers give huge discounts on all of their products. And before the advent of the internet, there was an in-store experience where, early in the morning, there are folks lined up around stores like um, Best Buy because they've been waiting all year to buy a TV at a hugely discounted price, or whatever gadgets that they want, or for the ladies, the, shoes and purses are on sale, and so it's a big day for shopping, and it typically marks the beginning of the Christmas shopping season. And we'll get into Christmas, but Christmas is the time in the US where there's a lot of shopping, and so people start their Christmas shopping the very next day after Thanksgiving called Black Friday. And it's called Black Friday because businesses move from being in the red, which means a loss, to black, which means profit. So that's where the name came from. In recent years, we also have Cyber Monday, which encourages online shopping, and retailers have taken advantage of that to promote e-commerce. And so they give a lot of discounts on their products as well. And Cyber Monday has become even more popular, post the pandemic, where during the pandemic, a lot of people were locked at home. We couldn't go do Black Friday or whatever, so people were online shopping, and so this has really expanded. And Cyber Monday is a thing where on Monday after the Thanksgiving holiday, people are online shopping for whatever they want, including the Christmas shopping list. So you see why Thanksgiving is a very festive time in the United States. It's very involving with all of the culture and the traditions and the activities surrounding the holiday. Okay. So the next holiday, and this holiday is my favorite, which is Christmas. And Christmas, is observed in many countries in the world, and in the United States is observed here on December 21st. And so that day is a holiday. It's the only day that's a holiday during the Christmas season. I know that in other countries, December 26th is a holiday, but in the US, on the 25th is where the holiday falls, and that's when Christmas is celebrated. And even though it's a Christian holiday marking the birth of Jesus, over years it's become a more secular celebration. In addition to the Christian celebration, it's become a more secular celebration of joy and giving. And I particularly love Christmas, as I said, because I love to give. I love the time of wrapping gifts and putting them under the Christmas tree, especially when my kids were much younger and they actually wanted presents. These days, they're older and they want cash, but we enjoyed. My sister and myself enjoyed wrapping the Christmas presents and putting them under the Christmas tree for our children. So this picture you see here is actually a Christmas tree from last year, where we wrapped the gifts for the kids. When they were younger, they believed in Santa Claus. So we tell them that Santa Claus came down the chimney and put the gifts under the Christmas tree. So this is a big tradition for Christmas in the United States. It's a very festive
Bro,
time.
I fly
You
am.
know,
What's
there's
it?
decorations everywhere. During the day on the streets, you see the
So
decorations,
good
and at
food.
nighttime, the
Yes, one
lights
moment bro.
are bright and shiny and colorful. And
Yeah, same old.
folks
But one
decorate
time
their
so you
homes
are not expecting that
with
score.
Christmas lights and
Yeah, same old.
decorations. And communities have Christmas lights
It's
competitions
just so.
and whatnot. My neighborhood actually does a Christmas decoration competition
We should
where
maybe another
the
name.
homes that are most decorated actually win awards. And
Yeah,
so
same
this
old.
is my
And at
handiwork
least he should have
in this
told you.
picture that you're looking at. I spent about 2 to 3 hours each, and I
Oh
do
my
this with
God.
the
Yeah.
Christmas decorations actually start the day after Thanksgiving, and so we spend about 2 to 3 hours putting up the Christmas lights and the decorations, just to
Okay.
bring joy and cheer to the neighborhood. And
And
the
mature the
little
bit we
kids
are
in the
not like.
neighborhoods absolutely love these
Yes.
decorations.
Okay.
And it's not just the homes that are decorated. There are certain
Oh no, really
parks
business into anyway.
that have
Yeah.
different Christmas lights
Yeah.
and decorations, and people will pay a small fee and then drive through them to go see the Christmas lights and stuff like that. So it's a very bright and beautiful time here in the United States, especially at nighttime, driving through neighborhoods. And as I said, one the tradition is gift giving. Families will gather Christmas morning and sit under the Christmas tree, open the presents, tell the kids that the gifts are from Santa, and then the adults also give each other one another presents. Some other classic traditions that happen here in the United States during Christmas is also baking of cookies and building gingerbread houses and watching holiday movies. And I and my family fully participate in this. My neighbors will typically bring us cookies and gingerbreads. And
Yeah.
I like to add my Ghanaian spice, and I make both roads for my neighbors, and they absolutely love my both roads. So my kids also, we have gingerbread decorating competitions for my kids and their cousins. And then once we're
Yeah.
done, there's also typically like a Christmas dinner or something like that. And then once the family settles in, we typically, in most American homes, will be watching holiday movies, and our favorite to watch is Home Alone. And I'm sure a lot of you know about
Yeah,
the Home
same old.
Alone movies. Very funny, very entertaining, very family
And
friendly
I think to be do
um,
a bed
movies.
driver. No?
And Christmas is also a busy time. So I want you to pay attention to the running themes through these different holidays. You notice some similarities, and this should help us arrive at why these festive
So
celebrations are
be do
important. So you'll notice that
we have
also for
set or
Christmas, it's
the
a lot of family
yeah.
gatherings, a lot of sharing, and also shopping and spending money buying things that we like.
Mhm.
Okay, so the next holiday, and this holiday is not an official holiday. It is held on October 31st, and businesses are open, the government is open. Kids go to school, but the only thing is, a lot of the schools will not have afternoon activities so that the kids can go trick or treating. And some, firms are very flexible with their employees if they want to leave early to take their kids trick or treating or to have their own Halloween parties
This
in the
is nice.
office. So Halloween falls on October 31st. And just a brief history, it started from years ago
Yeah.
when in the 8th century when Pope Gregory III named November 1st All Saints Day.
Mm.
And so the night before that was called Hallows Eve. And so that was combined with the Celtic festival of the Sinai.
Yeah.
In the Sinai is where they believe that the veil between life and death is very
What
thin.
the
And so on
mama?
the night of Sinai, it's blurred, and so the ghosts come out and they roam amongst the living in the on the earth. And so how people used to
Yeah,
ward
that's
them
what they
off
are you.
was to wear costumes and then also light bonfires to ward off these spirits, and wear costumes to disguise themselves from these ghosts and spirits. And so that Celtic holiday was combined with the
Yeah,
All
same old.
Saints Christian Day, and the name was changed
If
from
you your
or
customers
shortened
not
from
the
Hallows
same.
Eve to Halloween. So that's where the name came from, and that's why this is a
Okay.
tradition that was brought to America by the Irish, and it's
Yes.
been here
Okay.
for years and years and years. And it's
Yeah,
one
same
of
old.
actually I would say it's the favorite holiday for kids. I
Yo.
know it is for my kids because the kids get to wear costumes and um, go around neighborhoods and knock on doors, trick or treating. They will ask, trick or treat that the neighbors will have candy in their homes, and when the kids ring the doorbell and knock on the door, they'll ask them trick or treat, and a treat. The kids say treat, and then they get candy. And so by the end of the night, they have, like buckets and bags full of candy, which I think is way too much. And for me, I hid majority of the candy for my kids because it was just too much sugar. But the way that, and then communities participate a lot. This is like a big community event in the United States. As you can see, my this is my daughter in the picture. I'm going trick or treating at my neighbor's house. In neighborhoods, neighbors decorate their homes, and they start decorating super early. They light up, they have spooky lights and spooky decorations of skeletons and ghosts and jack o' lanterns and whatnot, to scare off people and the kids. But it's all in good fun. And so here's my daughter going to knock on the neighbor's door. In the previous picture, this is also my neighbor's house with that huge scary thing in front of his house with jack-o'-lanterns on the table and some candy. And so it's a big community thing. Everyone in the neighborhood, no, not everyone, a lot of people participate. There's some people that don't believe in Halloween and don't like to participate. And so we respect their wishes. And so it's common knowledge, it's an unspoken rule that if you go to somebody's house and the front porch light is off, or they don't have any decorations on their house, that kind of tells you that they don't participate in Halloween. So you don't go ring on their doorbell or you don't knock on the door. But if the front porch light is on and they have decorations around the house, they know they participate. But a lot of people will actually come outside of the house, like this neighbor. They'll come and sit in front of the garage or in front of the front door. If it's not too cold, participate. If it is cold, they might light up bonfires, like back in history. People that don't believe in Halloween it's a very vibrant time, and so we respect their wishes. Early and so evening, it's common where a lot of people that are walking the streets, and it's not just little kids, even the teenagers, or they don't have enjoy this in their house. That trick or treating, that they don't participate in Halloween. Adults also enjoy this holiday. A lot of offices will have Halloween parties, and they'll encourage employees to wear costumes. It's not just little kids, even the teenagers that week, enjoy this. I have participated in my office. I've gone as adults also enjoy this holiday. A lot of offices will have Halloween parties, unicorn or fairy or something like that, and it's just a fun time. Costumes to work that day or that week. Also, that means at work, and I have participated in my coworkers. College kids love to have Halloween parties. They'll also wear their costumes. I remember my very first experience in college, my freshman year. Also, I was, as I said, I went to George Washington University, and so we are close to Georgetown. College kids, a lot of college kids will to have Halloween parties. They'll also wear their costumes, parade up and down M Street. This is the main street in Georgetown. So Halloween is a very, very big deal and widely celebrated holiday here. This particular picture here, I thought up and down funny. The kid on the right, this is Georgetown. Some kid in my neighborhood. I don't know whether he's a dinosaur or whatever creature he is, but that's him on our doorstep, and that's my son in this particular picture here. I thought about to give funny. The kid on the right. This is, as I said, this is some kid in my neighborhood. I don't know whether he's a dinosaur or whatever creature. It's also a time of that's him on our big shopping because there's a lot of the stores would put at the forefront Halloween decorations. Right now, this is today is what September 26th, and so Halloween is also up in about a month. So if you were to go shop in the U.S. store right now, at the very front of it, you see Halloween decorations, ghosts, spiders, skeletons, whatnot. So if you don't know that Halloween is coming, the stores will let you know that Halloween is coming. And there's a lot of candy. There's also very candy to the front of the stores because a lot of parents are out there buying the candy that they're going to give to the kids. The stores will let you know that Halloween is coming. As they come through the neighborhoods, a lot of the schools also do what we call trunk or treat, where parents will decorate their cars to the kids, and the trunks of their cars in typically at the as they come through the neighborhoods. A lot of the schools and it has Halloween decorations and a lot of candy, and the kids line up in their costumes, and they come by to get some candy. The trunks of their cars. As I said, this holiday is celebrated by a lot of Americans, but not all Americans, and a lot of candy. Some Christians especially don't celebrate this, and they come by alternative celebrations for the little kids. So some churches will have what they call the Harvest Festival, and they will have a carnival at their church, and the kids will still, come in their costumes. They encourage them to come in their costumes, and they will have candy for them. Churches will have what they call the Harvest Festival to distribute at the carnival. It's just that they don't go to neighborhoods. The kids will still trick or treating. So come in. It is a big, big time of celebration for Americans. All right, so let's move on to the next holiday, which is a really big one here. Is Independence Day here, but it's widely also known as July 4th. And July 4th marks all right, so let's move on to the next holiday, which is a fireworks, parades, patriotic displays, and it celebrates the adoption of the Declaration of
And
Independence,
July
as I
4th
said.
marks
This
the
is my
Declaration of
front door,
Independence.
and
And I
it's
told you
it
guys
comes
that I
with
fully
fireworks,
participate. So I typically
parades,
will decorate the
patriotic
front door, the front
displays,
lawn, and that's my
and
little
it
nephew there
celebrates
in
the
his
adoption of the
July
Declaration of
4th
Independence, as
gear.
I said.
And he was
This
visiting,
is my
so I
front
was
door,
about to take him
and I
to
told
the
you
White
guys that I
House.
fully
And so
participate.
we
So I
put on
typically will decorate
our
the
July
front door, the
4th
front lawn,
colors
and that's my
before
little
heading
nephew there in
to
his
Washington,
July
D.C.
4th gear.
July 4th is
And he was
also
visiting, so
a
I
big
was
time of
about to take
celebration. As
him
I
to the
said, there are
White House.
fireworks,
And so we put on
patriotic
our
displays,
July 4th
and
colors
there are a lot
before
of
heading
barbecues and
to Washington,
cookouts.
D.C.
Many families
July
will
4th is
host
also
cookouts and barbecues
a big
and
time of
spend the
celebration.
day
As I
enjoying
said,
the
there are
summer weather with
fireworks,
friends and family.
patriotic
My family will
displays,
typically
and
do
there are
that.
a lot of
Yeah, this
barbecues
is
and
from
cookouts.
July
Many
4th this
families will
year,
host
and
cookouts
we're
and
having the
barbecues
typical
and
American
spend the day
barbecue
enjoying the
food,
summer weather with friends
hot
and
dogs
family.
and burgers
My
and
family will
corn and
typically do that.
all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff
this
that we
is from
grill
July
during
4th
the
this
day.
year, and we're
And
having
then
the
in the
typical
evening time
American
is
barbecue
when
food,
we have the
hot
fireworks,
dogs
and
and
there's
burgers
a
and
big one,
corn and
in the nation's capital in
all
DC,
kinds of stuff
where I
that
work,
we
and it's only
grill
40 miles from here.
during the
So
day.
when the kids were much
And
younger,
then
we
in the
went a
evening
couple
time
times,
is
but
when
it's
we have the
it is very
fireworks,
popular, and
and
there's a lot of
there's a
traffic
big
going into
one
DC.
in the nation's
And
capital in
so as
DC.
my kids have
Where I
gotten
work,
older,
and it's only 40
we
miles
stay
from here.
home. So when the
To
kids were
watch the
much younger,
fireworks, we
because
went a couple
our
of times,
neighbors
but
are really big on
it is
firework
very
displays, so
popular.
we
And
get
there's
the
a
benefit
lot
of
of
sitting on our
traffic going
deck
into DC.
and watching
And so
fireworks
as
from our
my
deck.
kids have gotten
There's
older,
also a
we
big stay
park
home in Fredericksburg,
to watch
close
the
by us,
fireworks
that also
because
has
our
these
neighbors are really
fireworks
big on
displays.
firework
But
displays.
the,
So
the
we
most
get a
exciting
benefit of
one
sitting on our
is
deck
in
and
Washington,
watching
D.C.
fireworks
And
from
so
our
if you
deck.
have,
There's also a big park
the
in
chance to visit
Fredericksburg,
DC
close
on
by
July
us, that
4th,
also has
I
these
would at least try
fireworks
it one time
displays.
to go see the
But the
fireworks.
most exciting
I
one
actually, if I
is in
wanted to go, if I wanted to
Washington,
raise the
D.C.
traffic and
And so
go,
if you have
my office actually has the
the
rooftop
chance to
deck.
visit DC on
That
July
is
4th,
a very
I
vantage
would
point
at
to
least try
watch
it
the
one time
DC
to go see the
fireworks.
fireworks.
And so
I
my
actually,
office
if
will
I
open it up
wanted to
to
go, if I
us, and
wanted
I'm
to raise
family
the traffic
members
and go,
if we wanted
my
to
office
watch the
actually has the
fireworks that way,
rooftop
because it's
deck
really hard to get
that
parking, and
is a very
fighting with
vantage point
people
to
like
watch
for
the DC
vantage points to watch the
fireworks.
fireworks when
And
you're in
so
DC.
my
So
office will open it up
I
to
love that
us
I
and our
have that
family
benefit.
members
But
if we
July
wanted to
4th
watch the fireworks that way because it's really hard
is
to
a
get
big
parking
holiday
and
here in the United
fighting with
States,
people like for vantage
celebrating
points to watch the fireworks when you're in
America
DC. So
and
I love that I have
patriotism
that
and all
benefit.
that. So by the
But
way,
July
happy
4th
250th birthday to the United
is a
States.
big holiday here
This
in the
year,
United States,
there was a big
celebrating
celebration. There was also
America
a
and
military parade
patriotism
that
and all that. So
happened
by the
to
way,
mark July
happy
4th. And
250th birthday to the
it's just
United
a time
States.
of
This
American
year,
patriotism,
there
a
was a
time
big
of getting
celebration.
together with
There was
families,
also a
and
military
also, as I
parade
said, the
that
retailistic
happened
advantage. If
mark
you
July
even if you
4th.
go to the dollar store, you will
Um,
see a
it's
lot
just
of
a time
USA
of
items
American
in
patriotism,
the
a
stores,
time of
and
getting
Americans are
together
buying
with
these things
families,
to
and
decorate
also,
their
as I
homes
said,
and to
the
purchase
retailist
fireworks and to
advantage.
light them up
Even if you
and
go
to
to the
celebrate with
dollar
their
store,
neighbors.
you
You'll
will
see
see
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
USA items. Okay, so
the
these are the
stores,
top
and
four
Americans are buying these
um,
things to decorate
holidays
their
in the United
homes and to purchase
States.
fireworks and to light
The
them
top
up
four, I would say
and
the
to
top,
celebrate with
the
their
four
neighbors and
most
their families.
celebrated, or the four most festive
Okay, so these
holidays
are
in the
the top
United States.
four
There are, as I said at the beginning,
holidays in the
other
United States.
festive the top
Holidays,
four, I would say
Easter,
the four most
which is
celebrated by
celebrated, or the four
Christians, and
most
also,
festive
over the
holidays
years
in the
marked by
United
Easter egg
States.
hunts
There
and family
are,
meals.
as I said at the
We
beginning,
talk about New
other
Year's Day, New
festive
Year's Eve. There's
holidays,
also St. Patrick's
Easter,
Day, which is a
which is
celebration
celebrated
of
by
Irish
Christians,
culture
and
on March
also
17th,
over
and
the
it
years
often
marked by
features
Easter egg hunts
parades,
and family
green-colored
meals.
food,
On New
beverages,
Year's Day, New Year's
lively
Eve,
gatherings. And
there's
I
also St.
believe a few
Patrick's
years ago
Day,
in Chicago,
which is a celebration of
they
Irish
colored the
culture on
water
March
in the
17th,
city
and it
green
often
to
features
celebrate St.
parades,
Patrick's Day.
green-colored
So
food,
it is also a very
beverages,
festive celebration.
lively
There's also
gatherings.
Mardi
And I
Gras,
believe a few years
which
ago in
is
Chicago,
most
they
famously
colored the
celebrated
water in the city
in
green
Louisiana and
to
New
celebrate
Orleans,
St.
and
Patrick's
also
Day.
features
So it
parades
is
and
also a very
parties and
festive celebration.
vibrant
There's also Mardi Gras, which is most famously
There are other,
celebrated
festive
in
holidays that promote
Louisiana,
cultural
in New Orleans.
diversity.
It also
We have
features parades and
festivals like the
parties
Chinese New
and
Year, the
vibrant
Diwali holiday by the
decorations.
Indians.
and I talk about the Juneteenth. There are other, festive holidays that we have a lot of also Jewish holidays. Right now, festivals like the Chinese New Year, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah. There are various holidays in the United States celebrated by Americans with heritage, their heritage from various parts of the world. And so America has that rich culture of combining all of these traditions and celebrating one another and showcasing American culture. So this brings me to the importance of these American festive celebrations. And remember I said pay attention to the running themes that should help bring us to why these festivities are important. And so, number one, there's a social importance, right? These festive celebrations
Oh, but
strengthen community bonds and promotes inclusivity and celebrate freedom and unity. As you saw, by strengthening community, neighbors, connect with one another. They form relationships. They're able to be there to support one another and be there for each other. I, in particular, have enjoyed, building relationships with my neighbors because, as I said, we participate in all the holidays by, going trick or treating with my kids. We've met a lot of our neighbors. They've known my kids since they were kids, and we have established relationships from there where if I need them or if they need me, we are there for one another. So, for example, when we travel, our neighbors will come and watch our pet parakeets for us. Our little teenagers will come and watch the birds for us. My kids have dogs sat for my neighbors. When they travel, they went to take care of their dogs. My neighbors, older kids, have babysat my children. If our neighbor needs to borrow something, they easily come to us. And same thing, if our lawnmower is broken, we want to borrow theirs, we go get theirs because we've broken the ice with these um, festive celebrations. We build those relationships and those bonds. And so this is why these American festive celebrations are important. It also eliminates the isolationism, right? Imagine if nobody went out during these celebrations, then it's a isolated life that you live in, and that's not good. So getting out there, celebrating with your neighbors, building connections is very important, and it's what America is about. Connecting to your neighbor, freedom and unity among Americans. Okay, so that's one importance that I have. The other importance that I also wanted to dwell on is the economic impact. And as you saw earlier on in the presentation, all of these festive holidays come with a lot of shopping, right? So these festive holidays, they contribute to retail, to tourism, to the hospitality industries, right? Because as I said, the hotels are booked around Thanksgiving and Christmas. The airlines, the flights are booked, and these retail shops are busy, especially around Thanksgiving and Christmas time, where Americans are shopping till we drop. And so these festivities also helps to boost the American economy, and we encourage. I personally encourage Americans to participate in these celebrations because it's good for you as a person, it's good for the nation, it's good for the communities. And so I'll share these two important reasons why we celebrate American holidays. And then I will conclude and then have people also, if anybody has anything to add to why it's important to celebrate these American holidays, or if they have any questions, then you can ask. So I'll conclude by saying American festive celebrations play a vital role in shaping identity, unity, and cultural pride. So at this point, I will stop sharing, and then we have about 20 minutes to take questions and contributions from our participants.
Wow. Mami, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You've done justice to our topic. And
Great.
you're just the best person to do this because we all follow you on social media and see how excited you get when it's such special occasions. Um,
Exactly. I had a ton of photographs, but I didn't want to bomb the audience with my personal pictures and photos of myself and my costumes, my decorations, and everything. But I hope the little that I shared, kind of educated people on the American holidays and how fun they are and why they should participate.
so it's been great. It's been great.
That's good.
I have a few questions here.
Okay.
First one says, what happens to Ghanaians who don't have family in the US during these festive occasions?
Okay. So, for example, like the international students that come here to United States, I had meant to mention this, that most of the time, by the time it's Thanksgiving, they would have been here for a few months and they have a few friends. And so some of the friends will invite them to their homes, to join them for Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving holiday. Some kids might stay in school, but a lot of the ones that have made friends by then typically they go to friends' homes to celebrate with them.
I know Thanksgiving, a lot of people do that. What about Christmas? Does it make people miserable?
Um, I don't think, well, if you don't have family, if you don't have friends, I don't know if it makes them miserable. I mean, as I said, the streets are decorated, there are lights everywhere, there are celebrations everywhere at the mall, in the neighborhood. So it's a matter of personal choice, right? You can choose to stay home and, read your book and not, bother with anybody. Or if you step out of your house or your apartment or your living space, there is joy and cheer out there. And so it's a time of joy and cheer. And I think that everyone should be intentional about participating. Even if, as I said, Christmas is not just for Christians. It's become, a secular, celebration and, lights and, decorations and gifts and whatnot. So just even going to the mall, just you don't even if you don't have money, just taking a stroll through the mall. They put out decorations. There's Santa Claus at the mall with kids lining up to go tell him their wishes and whatnot. All of that evokes joy in people. So I think that everyone can have fun Christmas time, whether they have family or not.
That's good to hear. Most people joining us are Ghanaians who want to learn about the US.
Okay,
So it's good they are learning that at
good,
least for Thanksgiving, if they don't have any family members, they still will not be alone. And I
exactly.
know that for some universities in the US, if they realize they're not going anywhere, they kind of have some program to help
Yes,
international students appreciate Thanksgiving. So,
exactly.
yes.
Yes, a lot of the colleges have international student clubs, and they recognize that a lot of them are not able to travel home during Thanksgiving, and so they will have little Thanksgiving celebrations for them, etc. Even in businesses in corporate America, if you don't have family close by, the offices will have a day that they dedicate for Thanksgiving lunch. It's not necessarily on Thanksgiving Day, but it might be that the Tuesday or the Monday or the Wednesday before, where they have lunch for everybody to come and enjoy a traditional Thanksgiving meal. So on Thanksgiving Day, you don't feel like, oh, I never got to like celebrate Thanksgiving. There are other places besides your home that you can enjoy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. There's this funny question here, but I have to ask it.
Okay.
Says, where can people get free food during these vacations?
Okay. So there are, I mean, people are very neighborly. If you were to knock on my door, I'll give you some food. But there are people that volunteer during Thanksgiving to give away free food. They prepare the meal. It's either giving away fresh turkey for people to take to the homes to go cook, but there are also shelters and places that give away free food for Thanksgiving. So sometimes they'll go, to a park or a place, a public area, and announce that we're giving free Thanksgiving food here. And so they would have, the traditional meals, which are, the turkey, the mashed potatoes, the pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie. So you can enjoy free food. Just keep your ears open for the announcements of where the free food is going to be. Thanksgiving is a time of also giving. And they, we have what we call in the U.S. Giving Tuesday. The Tuesday following Thanksgiving is where people make a lot of donations to charities and stuff like that. And it starts, the giving season starts before Thanksgiving, where these type of events are held, publicly for people to enjoy free food. So don't worry, there's places to go get free food.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
About my last question that I have here. The
Okay.
question says, we've heard of America 250. America 250, there's a lot of noise going on.
Hmm.
Can you educate us on what America 250 is about and
Hmm.
what we should expect as Ghanaians, what we should know, how are Americans celebrating it, how are internationals in the US celebrating it? If you can please
Well,
help us appreciate it.
yes. So as I mentioned when we're talking about the Independence Day in America, America 250 is celebrating America's 250th birthday, and 250, is a big, it's 2.5 centuries, right? So it's a big deal. There's a lot of patriotism, a lot of showing American pride in our decorations, in our celebrations. I still have my American flag sitting in my office from the decoration. So it's basically celebrating what America is, and showing American pride, and rooting for America every day. While we're celebrating 250 years in this country.
Wow, that's really good. That's really good. That's really good. And how long will the celebrations last?
Well, as long as we're in the 250th year, why not?
That's good to hear. I have another question here. It says, do some schools have special arrangement celebrations for students during Thanksgiving, like our day in Ghana?
Yeah, yeah. Does she mean college students or
Yeah, college students.
college students? Yes, as we mentioned, yes, they do, especially for the international students. As I mentioned, they do have Thanksgiving events. They'll have a Thanksgiving lunch or a Thanksgiving dinner, and it will typically have. I mean, some of them could do like bring your they call it like brown bag thing, bring your own food, but there'll be the traditional turkey there. There'll be cranberry sauce. There'll be mashed potatoes. And the reason why a lot of them will do the brown bag is because um sometimes the American food gets it takes getting used to. So turkey is not like a big thing in some other countries. Like cranberry sauce isn't. I'm still not a big fan of cranberry sauce. The sweet potato pie and the apple pie. Apple pie is kind of sweet, like goes well with a lot of people. But you see at these lunches that are organized for the international students, it's not just American food. They incorporate other food from other nationalities so everybody can enjoy. But it does mark, the Thanksgiving event, and the reason why we do it, and being thankful for being a student in America and all the blessings that come with it.
Happy to hear this. Well, I don't know if Lauren has anything to say. Timothy, thanks for asking this question. As we bring this session to an end, whilst we wait to hear from Lauren, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you to you. I know you're a
Pleasure.
very busy person, but you actually made the time to do this for us.
My
And it
pleasure.
was good having you because you celebrate all these festivals and
I do.
celebrations. And um, you are Ghanaian American, so you
Yes.
understand both worlds. So it helps
Yes.
us to appreciate the US better through your lenses. For those who joined, let me take the opportunity again to talk about American Corner, Kumasi. And it's a very safe space where you can walk in to come and just relax. It's a beautifully decorated place, if I should say so myself, where you can come in. There's free internet for you to do your research. There's a library for you to use. We have programs every month, different programs. And there are times when we join American Spaces at the US Embassy to do the programs. There are times when we join American Podagoba to do the programs. So anytime you see anything American Corner, just look at what we are doing. The other thing too is Education USA is part of American Corner and a part of American Spaces. It's one of the pillars of American Spaces. And Education USA helps students to be able to study in the US with as much funding as possible and with a lot of guidance. So that those are seasons where university students have just finished school. Here in Ghana, most of the public schools are on vacation. Um, those who finished WASI have also um, finished all their papers and are getting ready to do US applications or getting ready to apply to schools. This is an opportunity for you to just walk in and ask questions. Anything to do with studying in the US, we have a free orientation every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. So you can join us and get all the information you need. Well, on this note, Mami, I don't know if you have any final words for us before we wrap up.
Well, I've enjoyed, sharing my experience as an American, and my participation in all the festive holidays. I hope that this encourages and inspires everybody to get involved in their communities and participate in their holidays. If you plan to move to America, even if you live in Ghana, wherever you're watching from, I hope this inspires you to get involved, and because these celebrations help build relationships with your neighbors in your community, and it's good for you as a person, and it's good for your community and your country. So I hope that you're inspired by today's session to
Hey,
get involved and
football in
participate
Ghana.
in all the
Don't mind
holidays and
me.
celebrations.
Thank you, and thank you.
You're
So, to
welcome.
our viewers, we are bringing this session to an end. There'll be another program on Monday. Tune in to get all the details you need. It'll also be at 4 p.m. In fact, it'll be on Tuesday 30th. So tune in and then get all the information you need. Thanks again, Miss Abna Ankra. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. It's been
All right,
wonderful. Thank
man.
you all so much.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. Okay, bye bye.
You too. Bye.